Welcome back to Single Player Party and this week's weekly roundup of crowdfunding board games that can be played solo. Currently funding on Kickstarter. Last week I included a couple on GameFound. Big ones. Unbreakable from Too Many Bones is still up there, which I think will be a really good one. And then that Lords of whatever, the one that is like Norse meets mechanical. So that one looks good too. Big box game from the people who brought like Nemesis, and I think they did the Holy Grail game, the Tainted Grail. So pretty good stuff. Again, this show is about showing you what came out this week on crowdfunding that caught my eye, and I just trying to be all inclusive of everything that has come out since my last video on Kickstarter, and the links are below. Timestamps to where I talk about the game, because how much I ramble about individual games varies wildly based on how it looks to me, how much I think I should talk about it, how much or little they put on their campaign, and then I critique the campaign a little bit. When I see red flags, I do definitely want to point them out. And I hope that anybody who watches this that might be associated with any of those campaigns, can hopefully address any of those issues if it ever gets around to them. Not a lot of people watching these, so you're in an exclusive club if you're checking these out and getting my take on this. But, sometimes we all go to Kickstarter on our own and shop around, but now you've got my voice in your ear, maybe giving you a little bit of a different perspective. I know some people have reached out and said that I have pointed out a couple campaigns that weren't on their radar, and I put them on their radar, so that's awesome. That makes it all worth it. And so the links below directly to them, along with the timestamps where I talk about them. So let's get into this week's stuff. I have a personal favorite loaded up here on the main page. This is from Jason Tagmeyer. Since I've been doing this, I think this is the second or third one that I've already covered of his. He pumps them out. This is his 51st Kickstarter campaign. And I backed his stuff way back in the day when he even had a couple where he tried to do the art of like famous people fighting. And I thought it was kind of cool and messaged him about it. And he said, yeah, probably not going to resurrect that one. But you can see that way down at the bottom of the very beginning of his run on Kickstarter and doing these, which evolved into these wallet games, which as solo players, I think we've all been exposed to some of them at one point or another. There's just a fantastic library. You've probably played Sprawlopolis. I think that one is one of the mega hits that he has. I like Twin Stars. There's several great ones. So this is a reprint along with an expansion, and I did not catch this original printing of this. I do know that there is this is the solo piece here, and there is another solo piece here. So these little expansions allow it to be played solo. Now, a lot of the times his stuff is just solo, which is awesome. And he gets like Scott Alms to do games, lots of designers. This one was part of one of his contests. Just a great dude for the community, providing quality stuff really, affordably, and like the art's always good. As a designer and publisher, I feel like this dude's living the dream, so that's super cool. No stretch goals on this one. He's throwing the solo expansion for free. Now, me falling behind on this one is kind of a big leap to jump in to get everything. And so I really do want to back this because I get a lot of his stuff and I like it all. But this one's kind of a big purchase for me. So this would be like $35 to get the base game along with these expansions that include the 2 solos and these special cards right here. But, you can get the new stuff here, plus I think the base game for like 12. So that would cut the price almost in half, just a little more than half. I don't know. It's also a very short campaign, so this, I haven't gone back and covered a lot of the ones that have already come out that I've covered. So like within the like the first week and then the second week that I do this, there are some campaigns that just run really short and I don't get to cover. I haven't gone back yet. I don't know if I'll work that into this show where I'm covering less and then I'm covering the same ones maybe multiple times to make sure that maybe I go more in depth with them or remind you that something's ending. But when I post next week, this one will be only have a couple days left, and it just launched, so it's already doing really well. He only was asking for 2,000 because he can publish smaller batches for and get all that in there, but 35,000, he's already killing it. So this might be one I just order off of his website down the road just to support him. So yeah, so Skulls of Sedlec expansion collection. You get a lot of content in this, a lot of little wallet games. So I wanted to point this one out first because I think that one's huge. So this one is going nuts, and look at it's just little things going off the charts. Resident Evil. They've already put out Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 2, so this is another one in the series. It's interesting that they probably got the license for the first one last or something. Interesting, but it's about to hit $1 million and it just launched today. So and again, another not super long campaign. They're only going to do it for 16 days. And I think this is their 10th Kickstarter, so they've delivered. But looks like Resident Evil came out. I think this one had a lot more eyes on it. I feel like I saw this one covered more not mainstream, but maybe niche, like Nerdist, or somebody else was maybe covering that this was coming out. So this one got a little hype. So if you like miniatures games, cool mini or not style stuff, I feel like this is right in the vein of that. And so Resident Evil for your miniatures painting. These miniatures are pretty gory too. So if you're into that, it's got some what I think look unique for the miniature sculpts, and not like Kingdom Death Monster level of out there, but as far as mutants and zombies and the way mutants and zombies meet, because it's demons and stuff. I think it clashes that really well. So if you're looking for more of those miniatures, there's your ticket. This one was on my radar as they were posting a lot in a lot of Facebook groups. I was seeing art put out. They were in the designers groups for sharing their art and sharing other things, and I like a lot of the illustration art on this, and the graphic design on the game was good. And then I feel this looks good. Yeah, I like it. It's not got a crazy entry point price either, which is nice. So this could be another sleeper hit for fantasy game. This is the first created by this person. But yeah, I think they did a pretty good job for a first offering. I can't speak to gameplay, but I do love this cover, and he's kind of shown it everywhere. And a cover doesn't make a game, and it's only for 1 to 2 players, which I think is interesting, and might limit the number of backers. But 314 people are already sending it well on its way, and it looks like people aren't putting in too much crazy money, so it does look dialed in. If they reach that 20,000, he's able to publish a decent amount and not a lot of backers. have a lot of inventory, I think, for the back end if he's able to get good economies of scale on how many units he's going to produce. So it's coming out of the Czech Republic. I really like this illustrated cover. Is very striking. It's very striking. I feel like this is going to grab a lot of people. And this is a great start. I mean, it's definitely going to fund. 75% there on day one. A 30-day campaign. He's got to be thrilled. It's just, you come off that Resident Evil looking at it hitting almost $1 million, and you're just like, oh, this one's not doing so well. But it really is. It really is. Kinghill. I think, if you want that type of thing, there it is for you. Power plants. Now this one, this picture didn't grab me. The art of the logo is okay. I don't know what this is. Yeah. This just looks like a pattern of a bunch of tokens. The cards, I can't really see a lot of detail. These miniatures are zoomed out really far away and tiny. This is huge. This stuff doesn't mean anything to me. So as I was scrolling through this one, this didn't grab me much. The little tokens are kind of cool. But when you look at this front, I don't know what those are. Are those plastic? Are they wooden? And then you come down here and it looks like they're going to be more like wooden tokens. Are they etched? And so they are wooden tokens. And lots of little sprite meeples, which is cool. A wizard pond, gem tokens. They're getting custom trays. Nice, right? There was something about this game when I got down to... Where did I get down to when I was looking at this? Something about this game, when I started scrolling down the page, where was it? Maybe it was this how to play. Kind of seemed like it grabbed me a little bit more of this might be a really interesting game. So I wasn't going to say too much about it. And I mean, I still haven't. But I think if I'm gonna give you one to maybe do a little more research on and dive deeper into, power plants might be a good sleeper. And then we have New York Delivery Pizza, 1 to 6 players. It's got solo blazoned right there on the entry video. That's cool. It's funny because this makes it look kind of small, and then when you look at the prototype in front of the guy playing, the board looks a lot bigger. So I mean, it looks more generic of a board game you might have seen in the early 2000s, kind of made from home. The graphic design needs a lot of work. I like the concept. I like the concept of delivering pizzas in New York. But the preliminary rulebooks here might be a great thing to go and check out. But this graphic design does not grab me, and I think it's gonna be a hard sell for a lot of people. So 57 backers. If he's only asking for 11,000, I feel like if he can double this by tomorrow or the next day, I think it'll fund. So he needs to get up to 100 backers, 150 backers by the first 72 hours. And then, this has got a real chance of funding. And it could be a cool little niche board game. The drone delivery, that's cool. This 9 Arches is a very interesting game. It says it's a choose your own adventure game, but it's actually choose your own life events game. So it's a tarot deck, and there's all these elements, and it's going to have you do real life challenges. So I assume you can do them as a group or an individual. It didn't really get into that, but then you like roll some dice to see how long you have to meet these challenges. So, you know, blending real world stuff with this, and I like the art design on it a lot. It's really cool. So I feel like this is something if you're like in a way like traditional board games only and just want to sit down at a table, play my games, you know, this isn't for you. This is if you've maybe got a little bit of an adventurous spirit, you want to mix a little bit of board gaming with reality, you need a little shake up in your routine or something. And it looks beautiful and it can be really cool. So it's well funded, and it's going to get made, and I think they'll be able to deliver it. I think this is going to be cool if you're into that stuff. Catapult is Catapult Castle. I said that backwards. It looks like there's a bunch of buckets and you're playing like catapult pong with the buckets. So maybe a fun dexterity game for you and your family. I feel like they just came out with a couple of like dexterity games, those little catapult things, like the one that just got turned into the Space Invaders that Target has. That was another popular game. I forget what it's called, but it's gonna kind of compete with that. So looks like they're advertising the MSRP, blasting it right here. So they're like, hey, we're competitive. And this blends a lot of dexterity ones blend, like, is it a game? Is it a toy? That kind of thing. And so, interesting. It's gonna fund. Not asking for a lot. Oh, excuse me. Late at night. All right. Let's see. So this is I haven't gotten to cover a lot of relaunches yet. This is a relaunch. And I talked about this in one of my early weeks of doing this show. And this one did end up getting canceled. I did not follow up with that because unless I'm backing it, I don't really follow along with I can't follow along with all of these. And I do remember commenting about how I thought it was really cool that these ones were, in the shape of dice. And they're really selling this based, seems like they're based solely on the miniatures for this kind of stuff. So it's really interesting. And, if it was already a product and I could get it, at a discount, I'd probably be really into this one. But I think it was 1 to 7 players on the original campaign, and here it doesn't talk about player counts at all that I could find. And they lowered the goal from 12,000 down to this 3,000, and it looks like it is going to fund, because I think they canceled it early with like $4,000 in backers. So it should fund. I don't know how they're producing it or where, and so I don't know. This does elevate the risk on something like this, which might keep some backers away, but you could be one of the lucky few. If they get to their goal with only 50 backers, you might have, one of the only copies of this game. But you could also be throwing your money away at it. So if you're looking for a sure bet, this is the DVG Dan Bearson games, and this is all those ones that I always talk about. That I have a couple random ones that I haven't played yet. I have his an old edition of Apache Helicopter, which I really want to play, and I have not sat down and learned the rules yet for it, but I definitely do want to play that one. This is 2 standalone expansions for Warfighter during World War II, and you've got North Africa and the Mediterranean. Super cool. Again, they're in that $60 price range. These are well established. If you're already into these games, this one is probably already on your radar. If you haven't played these games yet and you're looking to pick one up with a little bit of discount, because not a lot of his stuff goes on sale. I watch him on Facebook, and it's kind of hard to get a deal on some of these. And I think they're just so jam-packed full of stuff that I don't think he's making a ton of money. I mean, it's a going concern, so he's making money, but You get a lot of stuff for your money. These are like $60 here. It's already funded, and so I'm eyeing this North Africa one that looks cool. Again, I probably won't be able to pick up one on this campaign, but if I was in these, that's kind of where I would be eyeballing. So there's some videos down here to watch of people actually playing them. They've got, much more professional looking reviewers than this guy. But one day hopefully I'll be reviewing some of these myself, and I can maybe I'll be a video in one of these and be able to share it with you guys and be like, don't look at that guy's video. Just kidding. And yeah, I think this is just one of those style of game, like you're either into these military token solitaire games or you're looking to get into it, like me. And I think this actually is a good place to start, to be honest. This is one of those good places to start on those. But they already exist too, so if you want to go pick up one and not have to wait for it to get produced and shipped out, they're already out there. So I think I'd kind of rather pay like that $10 more and just get one that's already available, because this is funded and I don't think they're big on stretch goals, and there's not a lot of exclusive stuff because it's got a very big player base, and they don't come out like hugely for these Kickstarters because I don't think a lot of extra stuff is produced. But look at this as advertisement for him. So I keep seeing these and I keep going, oh yeah, I want to play those. And so you might keep seeing these, I want to play those, and just grab one that already exists. And then you might find one when he launches this Kickstarter, another Kickstarter that's like, oh yeah, I really wanted one of those. So let me follow up and pick up his next one. And then I'm already to my honorable mentions. I am just cruising right along. This might be my shortest video yet. Marvel Dice Throne has hit $1 million just as we're watching it. This must have just happened. And so this looks super cool. Dice Throne always looks super cool. I thought it did not have a single player component, but I learned today as this launched that where people were talking, there is an expansion that sounds like it's hard to get or more expensive that allows you to play Dice Throne Solitaire, allows you to play it solo, and would be compatible with this. So that puts Dice Throne on my radar. I'm putting it behind the backlog of stuff I already have to play, but Dice Throne, I just saw a bunch of it go on sale a bunch of places. It was on sale at Barnes & Noble, I believe. It was cute, like big sales online, and I kind of just didn't even look at it because I didn't see any way to play it solo on that. And maybe the solo expansion did go on sale and I totally missed that too. That would have been a bummer. But so the art's awesome. I love these like tableaus. You get these custom dice. I mean, they make this look really cool. It looks super fun. And I believe in this you get like some trays and specialty trays and stuff. And I like how this like includes like the complexity. I think the highest I saw was like a 5 for Doctor Strange. Yeah. I don't think anybody was a 6. So pretty cool. Definitely I feel like they are giving you a little Mjolnir if you back now. So there is a little bit of an incentive to back with the Kickstarter, and I believe the Kickstarter versions of the older ones had some specialty to them and made them more desirable. And so this might be one to pick up if you're even thinking about getting the solo expansion down the road, because if you like this Kickstarter, like the little things they're throwing in for the Kickstarter, this will probably be the only time to get that. They're about to hit 10,000 backers. Amazing. And then I threw another honorable mention in here for this Exquisite Crime. Hunter's Entertainment. I saw that it was Ivan Van Noren and Well, he was. I think this is his company, or he has something to do with it. And then this is some, established designers doing a story-driven. I think is a co-op, kind of like murder mystery, probably kind of thing. Anyways, the art looked cool, and they reached out to just like the reviewer group, and I didn't get a reply, but I thought that was cool that they reached out there, and it just looks kind of interesting. I don't know if there's a twist, like there might be a way to play it solo. I don't think so. I think there's probably going to be some like hidden information stuff, or like players have to pick certain things. Like one player might have to present and then pick, but it says it's the game runs without a GM. So it puts the storytelling in the hands of players using exquisite corpse drawing and writing templates that were initially developed in the surrealist movement. So it sounds interesting, and then you gotta ad lib stuff. So that's a certain type of game. Not everybody's into stuff like that, but just another honorable mention. That's going to do it for me this week. And if you want to follow along and see anything I actually back, you can follow me here for hopefully this, just Never Peak Games. You can come here, and I believe you can still click to follow people, because I get notifications for people who are following stuff. I backed Verdant. I think I threw $1 at Mythwin so that I can get it in on the Pledge Manager. Same thing with the Skinny Minis and some other stuff I backed. One Deck Galaxy, this Micro Dungeons, and of course this was the last Jason Tagmeyer one, was the Unsurmountable. So yeah, come follow me on Kickstarter. You'll see my activity as I kind of go throughout the day, and then that's it for this week. So check out those games and subscribe, like, comment below if you actually made it this far, and if anything that I presented caught your eye. All right, thanks for now.